Welcome to Listpedia. It's time to count down the top 10 sports cheating scandals. This list will include sports in general, regardless of whether it's players, referees, or team executives involved in the scandal. Number 10. New Orleans Bounty Hunters? The National Football League has long been a very physical sport, but the physicality of it was brought into question in 2012. It was reported that members of the New Orleans Saints were under a so-called bounty program. It was designed to pay extra money to players who successfully injured opposing players or caused them to be taken out. The program had been in place since 2009. The bounty for players gets higher during important games, especially during the playoffs. The program was created by defensive coordinator Greg Williams in order to get a more aggressive type of defense. The NFL handed out some of the harshest penalties in American sports for the incident. The players involved were spared the penalty, though, after it was found that the team officials were the real masterminds. Number 9. Tennis match fixing. Sports have a long history of match fixing and bribery, and now tennis is the latest to come under fire for illegal transactions. In a report leaked to the BBC and BuzzFeed, 8 players in the Australian Open are suspected of taking bribes to intentionally lose matches. The investigation was made by the Association of Tennis Professionals. No names have been leaked at this time, which may be an effort to avoid damaging the reputation of tennis. Additional information will most likely surface in the future, especially since the association invested a reported $14 million in the investigation. Number 8. NBA betting scandal. It's not uncommon in NBA games for players to bark at referees for what they deem as unfair calls. But in 2007, questionable calls by referees took center stage when referee Tim Donaghy was accused of betting on games that he officiated. According to the FBI, it occurred during the 2005-2006 and 2006-2007 seasons. It was found out by betting site pregame.com that games Donaghy officiated usually scored more points. And during one stretch, 10 games suddenly got big bets on one team, and that team always came out as the winner. The scandal forced the NBA to make changes regarding referee policies, especially their betting habits. Number 7. Lance Armstrong. Professional cyclist Lance Armstrong had for much of his career been accused of using performance-enhancing drugs. But it was only in 2010 that a real investigation was issued. However, it ended with no charges against Armstrong despite a wide range of evidence. Armstrong continued to deny the accusations, at least until January 2013. Armstrong admitted in an interview with Oprah Winfrey that he has been using performance-enhancing drugs throughout his career, where he won 7 Tour de France titles. Following the admission, he was stripped of all 7 titles. At least he didn't jump on Oprah's couch. Number 6. Crashgate. Why is everything a gate now? In the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, Renault F1 driver Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed his car during the 14th lap. The incident required a safety car deployment to allow personnel to attend to the crash. All the other drivers took advantage of the mandatory speed limit to get a pit stop, all but one, Fernando Alonso, Piquet's teammate. Alonso had previously made a pit stop earlier, which allowed him to take the lead and eventually win the race. Coincidence? Far from it. Piquet later admitted that the Renault team specifically ordered him to crash his car in order to help his teammate. The Renault F1 team did not contest after it was charged with conspiracy in 2009, validating Piquet's statement. Number 5. The Underarm Ball. During a cricket match between New Zealand and Australia in 1981, New Zealand needed 6 runs to win off the final ball to tie the match. This was only achievable by hitting a ball for 6 in the air over the edge of the ground. Cricket balls are always delivered over arm. However, an oversight in the rules at that time meant it was actually legal to deliver the ball underarm. The New Zealand Prime Minister called the incident the most disgusting incident I can recall in the history of cricket, unquote. The underarm ball was outlawed shortly after. The incident is still a huge talking point amongst cricket fans, with some Australians maintaining the tactic was legal and brilliant. Number 4. Ben Johnson. In 1988, Ben Johnson won the Olympic 100-meter final in a staggering 9.79 seconds. Shortly after, he tested positive to anabolic steroids. He wasn't the only guy in the race to try and get a bit of assistance. 6 out of the 8 runners were brought into the doping scandal. It impacted Johnson's career in a very similar way to Lance Armstrong. He was a national hero in Canada before he tested positive. After, his career and reputation were ruined. Number 3. FIFA Executive Scandal. Football, or soccer, is the most popular sport in the world. Its governing body, FIFA, makes billions of dollars every year. But its credibility was put under spotlight in 2015 when numerous FIFA officials were arrested or accused of corruption, including the president himself. Because of the incident, the allocation of FIFA's funds and overall honesty of the organization have been questioned, especially in choosing World Cup venues. The investigation was initially made when the small but very rich country of Qatar was chosen as the host of the 2022 World Cup. It has been alleged that more than $200 million of bribery took place involving media and marketing rights. It's uncertain if the briberies directly affected football officiating, but all executives involved have certainly made their wallets fatter. Number 2. The Black Sox Scandal. During the 1919 World Series in baseball, 8 members of the Chicago White Sox were accused of throwing away the game against the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds naturally won the series while the White Sox lost. The players would eventually be known as the Chicago Black Sox. All 8 players were banned from the sport for life, including Shoeless Joe Jackson. The incident was directly caused by former White Sox owner Charles Comiskey's bad treatment of his players, especially their salaries. This led to the 8 players trying to take extra money from gamblers. The incident is considered the darkest time in baseball history. And our number 1 sports scandal, the Kerrigan Harding rivalry. In January 1994, professional figure skater Nancy Kerrigan was attacked after a practice session in Detroit, Michigan. The attacker was aiming to break her legs using a telescoping baton. Although Kerrigan was ruled out of the upcoming U.S. Figure Skating Championships, she did not break any bones. It was later found out that Kerrigan's main competitor, Tonya Harding, and her husband were behind the attack. The purpose was to disable Kerrigan for the Winter Olympics in February that year. Harding avoided prison by pleading guilty. Both women still competed in the 1994 Winter Olympics, and in one of the best examples of the phrase, "cheaters never win," Harding finished 8th while Kerrigan took home the silver medal.